Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I still can't start videos, we're moving on. So happy Christmas and Merry New Year's, my little birds, as we get over this awful year of 2021 and move into 2022. Let's hope that everything in the world will finally return to some sense of normalcy, but I ain't holding my breath. Cynicism aside, let's get into today's video topic. So I saw Callimara release a video on her channel where she took her favorite YouTubers and she turns them into Cookie Run Kingdom characters. I saw that video pop into my sub box and I thought to myself, that seems like a really fun idea, but I don't play Cookie Run Kingdom. Jeez, if there's only some other massively popular mobile game that I did play has been relevant for this past year and a half. Oh, wait. And with that, this video has been born. So in today's video, I will be taking a YouTuber I like and turning them into a Genshin Impact character. You read the title of this video, you clicked on this video. I'm just trying to hit the 10-minute mark at this point. So, who is the first YouTuber on the chopping block? Well, that one was easy. It's the person who inspired this video, and honestly, one of the main reasons why I started this channel in the first place, and that's Callimara. Calli is another art YouTuber who does redesign story times, and most recently, retrospective type videos while drawing. So, basically, what I do. Wowza, I'm so original and quirky. Now, I have a lot of respect for Calli and her overall hustle, as I too am someone who tries to balance a personal life of school and work while also maintaining a YouTube channel. The difference is she's a lot better at it than I am. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, so we're moving on. So I figured since I tend to rip off, borrow Calli's video ideas, I figured it's only fair that I make her into a Genshin Impact character first, so we begin. Let's go. I decided to add this section to my videos, and that's talking about my references and pre-sketching process. So for this design, my goal was to achieve two things. First, make a character that can fit into Genshin Impact's world and setting. I can achieve this by picking a country of origin and then using photo references from characters that are within that country. Second, making sure the design looks like Calli or can at least be recognized as her in some way, shape, or form. So, how did I achieve this? Well, I began by picking what environment she'd come from, and I decided her country of origin would be that of Mondstadt. Now, right away, I knew I wanted Calli to be a polearm user. So, who is the one polearm user in all of Mondstadt? And that's Rosaria, which I'm fine with because I think Rosaria looks sick anyway. Plus, I kind of get the same vibe from Rosaria as I do Calli. I'm not sure if that made sense, but it did to me. My issue with Rosaria is that besides some base ideas for the outfit, I really couldn't use her for anything else. So I went looking for other characters, and eventually I landed on Mona. Mona is another character who's a little bit eccentric from Mondstadt. I think Mona's face is very similar to Calli's character, or I could see Calli's character having a similar face to Mona. I don't know. I see it. I don't know if you guys see it. I personally do. And just there are some parts of her outfit that I want to incorporate in the design as well. Finally, for my third character, I landed on Noelle. Calli is or was going to school for nursing. I say was because she graduated recently with her bachelor's degree, and I don't know if she's continuing her education or not, but that aside, congrats Calli, really proud of you for getting that bachelor's. Noelle is a maid for the Knights of Favonius, but she also has healing abilities in her kit, which is why I wanted to use Noelle. Now I know that you Genshin nerds in my comments section are going to say, but Pavo, Barbara's a better heal. Shut up. I know. I am using Noelle not just for her healing, but also because of her palette and aesthetic. Unlike Barbara, Noelle has a rose theme going on in her design, which I personally wanted to incorporate since I remember Calli releasing an art piece called Rosewater that I really liked, and since seeing that, I have associated roses with Calli. Also, I think Noelle's palette goes really well with the palette that Calli has going on in her drawn persona. So with that covered, I just have to find some generic spear poses that I can use, and I can get started with the design process. Finally, for her vision, and for those of you who don't know what a vision is, Genshin Impact characters have an item called a vision. A vision is basically what the character uses to use their elemental skill or burst. So basically a magical MacGuffin that lets them move rocks, shoot water, breathe fire, etc., etc. You get the idea. Since I've been seeing people online talk about how your personality will determine what type of vision you have, I figured that Pyro would be a really good vision for Calli. People who wield a Pyro vision tend to be very passionate about something in their lives, or something they want to constantly pursue. Like Diluc, for example, is someone who has a burning passion to protect his homeland of Mondstadt, or Hu Tao, who has the burning passion to give the dead a proper burial. Since Calli said she's very passionate about nursing and mental health, I think she would be gifted a Pyrovision because she is literally pursuing a career to help sick people. Now for the fun part. Actually designing the character. I wanted a pose that shows off the spear and all of Calli while still being kind of dynamic. I think I managed to achieve this by having the pose of her holding the spear behind her, well, making a motion that she's kind of moving forward. I don't think I explained it very well, but you can see it on screen, so we're moving on. So, to begin, her top is a tight sleeveless kind of shirt that covers most of her neck. I made it so that Calli has full use of her arms, as she doesn't have cloth that get like, as though she doesn't have cloth to like mess up her movement. She has full range of movement for her arms because she uses a spear. I also did put a little pattern starting from the neck. So where the top ends on the neck, I started a pattern going down a little bit past her. It ends a little bit past her collarbone, but right before her breasts. For her torso, I gave her an armored corset, kind of like what Noelle has. This is meant to sort of hold the whole design together and kind of be a focal point of it, while also giving the clothing a little variance in texture. I'll go over that later when I cover coloring and shading. For her bottoms, I thought shorts, but that kind of seems to be more of a leeway thing rather than a Mondstadt thing. So I saw a lot of girls in Mondstadt have skirts and pants, so I went with the skirt. And I also gave some frills, but I actually really liked spiky frills Noelle had on hers, so I decided to take the frills from Noelle's outfit and incorporate them for the skirt, gloves, and boots on Calli's outfit. I also noticed a lot of characters in Mondstadt don't really have thigh highs, but they have something akin to pantyhose or compression tights, like Jean, Venti, Rosaria, and Barbara. So I gave her some tights with diamond pattern openings on the sides, and then these metal swirly things that wrap around her leg that's kind of similar to what Mona has. For her boots, they are a leather material with metal and gemstone tips where the toes are. Now, I wanted the design to have a little bit of edge, so I did this by giving her arm-length gloves that have a cuff-like fabric at the beginning where the shoulder is. And at the end of the gloves, I gave her finger claws, kind of like what La Signora has, or what Rosaria has, with the index finger of the hand holding the spear having a cross protruding out of the end. So for the spear itself, I wanted something that was really flashy, so I made it have a rose pattern at the end with some leaves protruding out of it. And that pretty much sums up the parts of the outfit and my thought process throughout the design. So the palette, in all honesty, this is probably going to be the shortest part of the video. So for the palette, I know Calli, or at least her avatar she's online, uses a lot of neutral warm colors, which makes the character very comfy, which makes sense for the type of content she produces. So now I wanted to use at least some of those colors for the character, but for the rest of it, I was pretty much on my own. Since Calli uses a lot of tans, beiges, and browns, I figured colors that would go well would be something along the lines of like dark magenta, reddish pink, and some muted golds. So like I brought up earlier, I'm gonna cover how certain colors and shading will provide different textures. So as I was shading the corset, I gave it less blended shadows that give off the appeal of shining metal. So that way she not only has a cloth texture to her clothes, but she also has a metallic texture to her clothes, just to kind of keep the design fresh and interesting. For her top, I made it the same kind of beige-ish pink that Calli's character's actual top is. I used the same color for the ribbons as well, and the compression tights. For her boots, I gave them a dark magenta color for the leather materials and the same gold for the metal endings and red for the gemstone tips. For the skirt, I colored it to be the really bright reddish pink. That way it kind of draws attention to the skirt and the corset, and it sort of creates this visual difference of a more muted color and then a really bright color that really is eye-catching. For the spear, the rose that has decoration is a bright red with pale pink petals. The pole itself is a dark magenta with the spear part or the tip of it being a bright red with some gold lining. And that pretty much sums up all the colors I used. Obviously, the hair and skin are the same color as her actual character, so I don't feel the need to bring up that at all, except at this very part, which is the end of this video section. We're moving on. So for those of you who don't play Genshin Impact, each character has roughly 6 talents. 3 combat talents, that being a regular attack, elemental skill, and elemental board. Then 3 passives, that being either to boost the effectiveness of the combat talents or to help gameplay experience or exploration. I said earlier that Calli would have a pyro vision and her weapon would be a pole arm, so for her elemental skill, it would be called Burning Rose. When she uses it, she will release a small fire burst that deals a small amount of AoE pyro damage to surrounding enemies. Then for the next 20 seconds, her spear will be dealing pyro damage that cannot be overwritten by another element. What I mean by can't be overwritten by another element is that certain characters do change the attack elements of the characters. While Calli's skill is active, those characters' effects are negated. Her spear will always do fire. Next up is her burst, Passion to All. She does a huge AoE fire damage, and then with every enemy that's hit within that fire attack, gets a marker, or as I call it, a nurse marker, which, as long as they have it, decreases their attack. Then if they're hit with a fire attack, the marker bursts, dealing a small amount of fire damage and then healing your party. The healing is scaled off of Calli's maximum HP. Her first passive skill would be called Flames of Determination, where Calli's pyro damage is increased for 20 seconds after she recovers HP. This is meant to go along with her ult. Her second passive would be the AoE of her skill is increased, and it also will heal Calli a bit when it's used. So basically, when she procs her skill, the area of effect for her fire will increase, and along with that, any enemies that are hit will also heal, which will proc Calli's first passive. Finally, the utility skill would be the ability to produce extra healing items that you cook, kind of like what Barbara or Diona has. And with that, that pretty much sums up my Callimara turning her into a Genshin character video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. I know I haven't uploaded a video in forever, and I'm very sorry about that. However, I do try my best. Just a combination of school and personal life things just make it really hard. But I will be trying to post more content. I am already working on my second video, which is going to be kind of like a story timey video. I guess like a story compilation kind of deal. So let me know if you guys are interested in that or pumped for that. Outside of that, I really appreciate all of your guys' patience and things like that. One of my New Year's resolutions is to take my channel a little more seriously and to start posting content more actively. I don't know if you guys noticed in the audio quality, but I do have a new mic, and I'm trying it out. My roommate got it for me for Christmas since he knows I want to do YouTube. So let me know if you guys hear an audio quality difference. I hope it's better now than it was before, because before I was using some random mic that I had in my house that was connected to a headset. Now I have an actual, an actual professional, podcasting mic. So yeah, alright, that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm done and I'm tired. Pavo out. Ciao. Mwah.